Happy Friday. Welcome into Three Ring Circus. RK Zach Mace here. And of course, it's Friday, so we got an awesome guest. But unfortunately, another week, another no Hawaiian shirt from the guest. It's Michael Spencer. What's up, dude?
Hey, man. First of all, appreciate you guys having me on. Second of all, I'm sorry. As I was driving in the car today, I was like, oh, man, I forgot the uniform. I was like, oh, no, I totally forgot. They're going to kill me on it. So my bad. I apologize. I have an excuse, but, not worth it.
And you go plain black shirt. That's just a slap in the face on top of it.
Right? Like, it's totally opposite of what you guys are going for. So I'm sorry. Hopefully I can make up for it with the attitude and the energy today. My apologies.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all right.
We're waiting for just the day where someone, because we don't want to tell anyone. We just want it to happen naturally. You were so close.
Yeah,
you knew.
I don't even know if I have anything in my closet that would compare to what you guys bring to the show. But maybe next time.
James Palmer ran off set and was like, I think I got one. And then he came back. He's like, I don't have one. All right. Well, let's jump in here. Of course, this show and all of our shows presented by MSU Denver Online. Check them out. msudenver.edu/online. They've got 750 total classes, 45 plus online and hybrid programs, and they are the single best place you can go if you're looking to further your education while working a full-time job. MSU Denver students work twice as many hours as students attending any other Colorado institution. Check it out, msudenver.edu/online.
My boys, so pumped to be doing this. And again, Michael, thanks for joining us. And your hair's looking pretty good today, Michael. So we thought we'd play a hair game.
Let's do it.
I want to see how well you know people's hair out there. So let's play Whose Hair Is This? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you some people's hair. Just their hair, not their face. You got to guess who it is.
And these are just, it could be anybody?
In the sports world. In the Broncos world.
In the Broncos world.
Kind of.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of. Oh, great.
I haven't seen these either, so I'll be guessing along with you.
So let's pull the first one up, and then that'll spark some conversation as well. Okay, so who could this be? I don't know what's going on here.
It looks like somebody's in the car.
A little top knot?
Right?
Yeah, it looks like a little selfie in the car.
Like a Broncos Zoom.
Oh,
the top knot.
Yeah, a top knot? Is that what we call it?
Yeah, that's what that's called. I mean, it has another name too, but if I say that, it'll give it away.
Yes.
The belly's not big enough. My first thought was like maybe Quinn Miners, but the belly's not big enough for Quinn Miners.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah,
is this Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, yeah, you got it.
There we go.
Nailed
Yes.
All right.
I was going to say, from that angle, the body doesn't really look like a football.
Is that and also, it's weird. Like, that is definitely a top knot, right? It's not a
man bun?
No, or the top of the seat belt thing.
No, he's rocking
that's the hair.
He's rocking the man
That's
bun.
the Hawaii Aaron Rodgers look. Yeah. Tropical Friday. He got the memo.
He's living Tropical Friday right now.
Seriously, he's tropical every day. What do you think of that look from Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think it's the best look that Aaron has ever pulled off, but you know what? Like, given the videos that we've seen, how he's hanging out with Miles Teller, got his fiance in Hawaii, I think we're all jealous of A-Rod and the life that he's living right now.
There's no doubt about that. Do you think he's going to be living the life in Denver?
I don't know. I don't know. I would say it's like 60-40 is kind of what I'm feeling
60-40
right now.
yes?
60-40 yes.
I told someone that exact same percentage last night.
Yeah, we're all kind of in the range. I said 65-35, but I think we're all kind of right
You're
there.
One.
I can't believe I'm the
Debbie
pessimist.
Downer.
I'm like maybe 40-60.
Really?
Yeah.
Boo.
See, here's the thing about being 40-60 is there's so many things that have to come into play, right? And it's not like Aaron can just decide I'm going to go play for Denver.
Yep.
Because if that were the case, I think he would absolutely, up those odds.
Yep.
But I do agree there's a lot at play, but I'm still trying to be cautiously optimistic that maybe it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you said. There's so many things at play. I think it's like maybe a scorned lover thing where I'm just like, I think that it's going to turn out that Aaron Rodgers was just using the Broncos the whole time.
Well, and to that point, how many times have we been through this, right? And with how many different quarterbacks, every time there's a quarterback that might be on the move, he might come to Denver,
Right,
and so,
right.
absolutely, scorned lover. How many times are you going to just break my heart and make me believe and then just shatter it.
Yep. And I think it was a couple of days ago, Ian Rappaport was on Pat McAfee's show, and he said that he still thinks that things can get worked out. And I'm like, oh, no. If there's still some hope, then it is hard to buy into it. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was at 80% that he was going to be a Bronco because I believe if the Packers trade him, I think he's going to Denver. Then I think it's like 100%. But that's a big if.
And that's the if right there, because we saw that report yesterday from Pro Football Talk that says the Packers could dig in here. Now, they could dig in and I don't think it's happening like on June 2nd. I think everyone's been excited. Oh, that's when it could happen. I think that's the start of the window.
Yeah.
But Green Bay, it's an interesting organization, as you guys know, because they don't have an owner. They have a board of directors. And is it possible that they dig in, but then step back and be like, okay, what can we get from him? Is this doing anybody any favors to let this continue? I would actually say if it happens, it's going to happen closer to training camp. Now that's what my guess would be.
I totally agree with that, Mace, because I don't think the Packers are going to sit there and be like, okay, June 1st, boom, let's trade him, right? Like, they're going to try and resolve this thing because that's in their best interest.
But they've now had a month to try. You know, how many times, and we were like, you know, I was doing the old relationship thing the other day. I'm like, how many times after a girl tells you she wants to break up with you and you text her and say, like, I love you, come back, and she just responds like, F you. How many times can you do that before you just give up?
When that girl's Aaron Rodgers, you just keep doing
That's
it.
what I said when she's at 10.
The consequences are so dire, like, because it's Jordan Love, it's Blake
Clearly they don't love
Bortles,
that.
Burt Benkert.
Yeah, that is a big part of this too. Like, I have a feeling someone behind the scenes is saying like, yo, Jordan Love is not it.
Yeah.
Like, we got to get this figured out. And like the public thing is like, he's not ready. It really means he can't play.
Right. And we don't think he can ever play.
Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, Green Bay as an organization, they're playing the PR game to get their fans against Aaron Rodgers. We saw a few weeks ago, of course, he got booed at that game up in Appleton. But this thing could turn over time. Green Bay fans are mad right now, but if Aaron Rodgers is no longer a Packer and Jordan Love busts and they're stumbling through the quarterback wilderness, Green Bay fans won't be mad at Aaron Rodgers anymore. They'll be mad at Brian Gutekunst.
For sure. And Green Bay fans have the same thing that Denver fans have, which is like the superiority complex when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They went straight from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and like Jordan Love has no chance, like to live up to those expectations. So even if he ends up being, you know, he could end up being their Jake Plummer.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be good enough.
Right.
Whatever. So it's a really interesting situation, and I think there's a decent chance he gets traded. I think all of everything he's saying is real. Like, I do feel that way, but I'm just emotionally protected.
What did you make of the Wedding Crashers reference that he made?
What was that?
He made a reference to the opening scene of Wedding Crashers, where literally it's Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn, and they're mediating a divorce. And the whole they come to an impasse over airline miles, and he cited that. But when he put that out there, that was the thing that kind of made me say, "Whoa!" Because that whole thing, like the whole crux of that scene is Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn convincing this couple, "Hey, you guys had your good times together. You had your wedding. That was fun, right? But now let's just move on.
Isn't it wild how we read into that?
Yes.
Like, and I think there's absolutely something to that. And like, Aaron's smart enough and loves to play the game.
He does.
And loves to do this to people that were doing that. Like 10 years ago, that never would have happened. Right? And like, it's so nuts that we're sitting here talking about, well, what do you think Aaron Rodgers is tweeting at? You know, like, what do you think that reference meant?
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's nuts. And I love that Aaron is kind of like playing along with all of this because I feel like you got nothing to lose, right? Like, if you're Aaron Rodgers, this process as much as you can. And he is the type of dude that is like, kind of naughty enough, if you will, like to absolutely enjoy this. I just think that's wild. And I do think there's something to that, Mace.
Well, I just love that he's having fun with this, because I feel like that's what I would do if I was in that position. Like, make the little references. I would tweet like super ambiguous fun.
Someone that's never been a free agent, he's never got to play a game. This is his time to play a game.
Yeah.
He's the biggest story in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
In a year that Tom Brady won title number 7, the biggest story of the NFL offseason is Aaron Rodgers. I think on some level he absolutely loves this.
Yeah, I think so too. So Tom Brady went to a new team last year, won a Super Bowl. If the Broncos do get Aaron Rodgers, are we talking about a similar thing here, Michael? I mean, how good is this team this year?
How good is this team this year with Aaron Rodgers? I think they could be really good. And I tend to lean toward Ryan's perspective on this too, because I feel like the last several years, Broncos Country at this point in the season has been like, oh man, this team could be really good on paper, and then it's another 5-11 season and 6-10. But I think that with this defense, the way it's constructed, with the young offensive talent that they have, if they get Aaron Rodgers, they are absolutely going to be in the conversation to be at play to win the AFC.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think so. I
mean,
right
he's
there
that
with the
type of
Chiefs.
talent,
Yeah,
right? And that
absolutely.
seems to be the biggest question for this team over the last several years has always been the quarterback play.
Yeah.
And if everybody stays healthy on defense, and if the young guys continue to progress on offense, like you feel like they are going to progress and continue to make those next steps, and you add Aaron Rodgers to that mix, absolutely, they're competing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And
All right.
I will say this year is a little bit different because a lot of the national media is saying the same things about the Broncos. It's not just the people in the inner circle, because I'm always kind of scarred from when I was growing up, the Rockies. They always had like this next guy coming, and it was like, Ian Stewart is coming. He's amazing. Just wait. And then he would come and just suck. And I was like, so maybe you can't get the perspective from inside,
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the question, the Ian Stewart is like Draymond Jones. Is is he actually good?
Right.
Do we just think he's good because he's young and he made some plays?
Yeah.
I think nationally this year, though, people are saying okay, this Broncos defense is really going to be good,
Right.
if they stay healthy.
Right.
But if that's the case, why do we see all these power rankings that have them at 25 and 26?
Because of their quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's the great unknown.
Yeah.
And that's
it
what
is.
keeps them from being up there. I totally agree.
Exactly. Well, we may have more quarterback talk in here. Let's see some more hair, though, coming in.
Oh, that's Peyton.
easy. That's so easy.
It's not the hair that's the
I
giveaway.
know.
It's the shirt.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
everything
The shirt
underneath
and the
his
sweater.
face.
He loves the quarter zip.
Yeah.
That is over a button down. That's his thing.
He also has this shirt that kind of looks like that one, the plaid one, but it's blue and orange.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he wears it 3 days a week.
I think so. He's always rocking the blue and orange. So, Peyton, working out with Drew Lock, or not working out, but breaking down some film with Drew. How big of a deal is it?
You know what I love most about this is the people on Twitter who were upset when they found out that it wasn't like they went on a 2-week-long vacation
Right.
together.
Yeah.
Any time with Peyton Manning, if you're Drew Lock, is positive time. Right? It doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes, if it's 4 hours, if it's 8 hours, whatever. I think that's big. And it's not necessarily like what is gained in those 8 hours or whatever it was. It's what Drew does with that,
Yep.
And I mean, look, nobody's going to be Peyton Manning, right? And that's an unfair expectation if that's what Broncos Country is expecting. But for Drew to go in and sit down with Peyton and say, hey, look, have Peyton tell him, hey, this is what you need to be looking for. This is how you need to be watching film. This is how I did it. And then if Drew can take that and utilize it
Right.
and put it into his regime and his routine, then that's what you need, right? That's what you're looking for out of all these meetings. So, again, I think any time spent for Drew Lock with Peyton Manning is positive time and is only going to make him better.
Yeah, the metaphor I used the other day was if you got 10 hours of lessons with the best golf coach in the world, you would come out a much better golfer.
And the rest of it is on you, right?
Yes.
Hey, this is your swing. Now you got to go put that into practice.
Right.
You know?
Because it's real easy when you get out to the course and you get on the first tee and you have the jitters to just go back to what you know, because he was
Yeah.
you need to lift your left shoulder a little bit and turn the hand over, and you're standing there this is really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you got to do it. You got to make it comfortable, and I think that's the same thing for Drew Lock. I'm sure it feels weird for him. I know this is the one thing we can be sure that he took away from that, to be standing at the line with his feet, neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure that feels weird, but if Peyton Manning is telling you this will make a difference for you, you got to make it
You
feel
do
normal.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
question is, do you still have that? It has to become habit, and that's what it's about right now. To where, it's easy to do it when it's 7-on-7, but then is it habit to where he gets to the preseason games, gets out there, the live bullets,
Right.
so to speak, are flying, and he does that while he's trying to read the defense, while he's trying to diagnose their intent. I think that may be part of the reason why, guys, Vic Fangio is saying this probably will come down to the preseason games, not what happens on the practice field.
And to go back to that point, like if that is the case, and if he goes back to those habits, then it's on Drew to recognize as he's watching film from those preseason games, okay, hey, look, my feet are off, right? They're not where it's supposed to be. Remember, I talked with Peyton about this in the offseason. I've got to go and correct this.
Right.
Drew has to make the most of that time with Peyton, and now it's on Drew to do that.
Because Peyton may not be there watching. He may not be watching Minnesota Broncos preseason game number 1.
I bet you
Why would he miss that?
he might be playing golf in Switzerland or
Right.
something like that. You know.
It's true, but I
Yeah.
bet he's
He
watching.
may be playing virtual golf in a box at the game.
Yes, that's true. Do we have that now? I know they have it in San Francisco because I got to do
If
it.
Peyton wants
Yeah.
it, Peyton
Right.
will get it. Right?
Right, in his own. All right, let's see some more hair. Next one that's coming up.
I think I have
Great.
this one.
And
Gray
this is
hair?
Bronco related.
Doesn't look like a player. I can give you that
No,
hint.
no. Obviously a reporter, some TV
Yeah.
vibes
Yep,
here.
on the right path. Yeah, this is a tough one.
Ooh,
This is very
yeah.
tough.
Why am I struggling with this?
You can kind of think a little more recent in the news this week.
in the news this week.
The
A
background might be a
reporter-ish.
little hint.
Is that well? See, that's
Yo, what is that background? I can't even tell.
it's
You're
a,
trying to
it's a
throw 'em
studio
off.
of some
Studio.
sort.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Why am I struggling with this? Help me out. I'm calling it audible.
A lot of salt with that pepper.
Yeah.
He talked with Aaron Rodgers this week.
Oh, Kenny Bain.
There
Come
we go.
on.
Nice.
How was the background supposed to help me? Arcade?
I don't know. It just
Yeah,
looks, that's like,
seriously.
it looks sports center.
Yeah.
That
Again,
looks like young Kenny Mayne. When was this
It
photo
does.
taken?
Yeah, seriously.
yeah, pre-retired Kenny
Yeah,
Mayne.
right.
What'd you think? What tea leaves did you read from that interview?
Not much. I mean, really, I wasted my time when I
Yep.
could have been watching a playoff game. Is kind of what I felt, which was kind of what I expected, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, Aaron knew what he was doing going into that interview, and he also knew that he wanted to turn everything around on Kenny Mayne. So I didn't take much from that interview really, because it kind of felt like this was Aaron knowing that he was going to be asked those questions and then doing his best to dodge those questions and
Yeah.
turn it around and make it about Kenny. In typical Kenny Mayne fashion, I thought he killed it, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the
Yeah.
best part of the interview. So I didn't take too much from that
Yeah,
interview.
and I think that's fair. All right, some more. Oh,
I
you
will
take
just say,
something?
I took
I took-
something,
oh.
which was just when he asked, "Are you demanding a trade?" Aaron basically said yes, without saying yes.
That was the
Yeah.
one comment, right? The comments about the organization,
Yes.
and there was clearly some. Clearly, they're not on the same page right now, and there was clearly some animosity on Aaron's part toward the organization. You're right.
Saying that he loved everybody but management.
Yes.
Loved his teammates, loved the coaches, loved the fans. And then, like I mentioned earlier, that Wedding Crashers thing, that was kind of the breadcrumb that made me think this. Ooh, he put that out there for a reason. Rodgers, he's very calculated in how
Yeah.
he does these things.
all quarterbacks are. All good quarterbacks are.
Yeah. Well, and that's a guy who's a seasoned vet. He's been asked a ton of questions. He knew that one was coming. And you're right, Mace. I mean, the fact that he didn't mention management when he's talking about, I love Jordan Love.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't the pick. And then he's going on about how the organization and things in the organization are bigger than they appear. You know, you're right. You're right. There was some reading of the tea leaves that could have been done there.
Here's the thing, though, Ryan. It's not going to be enough for him to dance around. Do you want to trade?
That's what you keep saying.
And it's going to come down to if he wants to be traded. I think he's going to have to make it ugly, and it's going to have to be public, or maybe it just waits until August or
Yeah.
September. I just don't think that he's going to get traded before a crucial time if he doesn't come out and really force the Packers' hand. But then when he does that, it will turn a lot of Packers fans against him. So that's why he doesn't want to do it. But I just don't see this thing happening without that.
I have no idea. I really don't. I feel like it can happen without that, and I also feel very strongly that he will not do that.
To go back to
Even
Mace's,
Deshaun Watson didn't do it.
And he's not traded.
I know.
Obviously, other things got in the way.
But there's
Extenuating
felt like more
circumstances.
contentious.
But it's not
Yeah.
like he was on his way out. It's not like there was a trade in place right before for Deshaun.
no.
to go back to Mace's point on the PR battle, I think if Aaron comes out and requests a trade, then he automatically loses the PR battle.
Yep.
Right.
You
yeah.
know, and I think that's part of this too, part of these mind games that he's playing, because I think he's aware enough to know that he doesn't want to turn into the bad guy.
And he knows what that looks like in Green Bay specifically
Yep.
because he was there back in 2009 when Favre came back as a Viking And I mean, he was persona non grata in Wisconsin for a few years after that until eventually everything faded. Now they love Brett Favre again. But for a while, Favre was public enemy number one up there.
Well, you look at the Nolan trade, and I was actually, I feel like more than most people, saying during most of it, like both sides here, I think are wrong, because I thought Nolan handled it really poorly. But the part that made me the most mad as a fan was when he got there, and there was the quote that came out from one of the Cardinals, which was like, he's been talking about trying to come here for 2 years, and that's when he lost me 100%.
And I thought the Rockies did a terrible job during that whole thing of making Nolan the bad guy. I thought they could have done a better job of planting the seeds of, hey, this is on Nolan. Nolan really wants out. We've done everything that we can.
Right.
And then when you trade him and send $50 million to the Cardinals, you already lose that battle, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought they could have done a better job of preempting that from a PR front.
Yeah, I think so too. And as we know, Jeff Braddock's not exactly a PR master.
No, he's not.
Or a brain surgeon.
He's the smartest guy in the room, but he's not a PR master.
All right, Kale, let's get to some more hair here. Got a few more left. Let's see if Michael can nail this one.
That's Schefter.
Easy, easy. We've all seen that face too many times.
I didn't need the background on that one.
And you know what? The hair, it's the same quality as it was like 17 years ago.
Back when he was here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's incredible.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't age.
Good on Adam. I'm jealous.
So Adam broke the Teddy Bridgewater trade. So what do you think? What do you think of Teddy? What do you think of this quarterback competition?
I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it evolves and whether or not they really go 50-50 and whether or not they really let it be a plain slate coming in. Because I think in the past, in quarterback competitions, and we've seen it here, they have given a guy an edge, right? They've given a guy an opportunity to go win the job. So do they really come in and let it be, hey, best man win? And in that situation, I tend to lean that Teddy might win it. Is kind of my initial thought before we get into training camp. So I think that's going to be really interesting. And I do think that there's something to George Paton now being the GM and there not necessarily being the need for Drew Lock to be the guy anymore.
Right.
Because George Paton didn't draft Drew Lock.
Yep.
And so I think that will absolutely play into it. And I hope for both guys' sake that it is a fair competition, that they get 50-50 shots, and that they give the best guy the job at the end of the day.
If it wasn't fair, whose side would it be slanted to?
I think it would be slanted toward Drew's.
Okay.
I think that would be – I think they want to make that work. And I think that they – like I said, if John were still the GM – then it'd definitely be slanted toward Drew, in my opinion, because he's the guy that drafted Drew. So I think they want Drew to be the guy. And the question is, how do they frame the competition during camp?
And we're split on this because you two, I don't think, agree with that they want Drew to be the guy.
Correct. I think Drew being the guy is the best thing for this team outside of Aaron Rodgers. But I do think that everyone, Pat Shurmur, Vic Fangio, and George Paton, are all going to lean toward Teddy.
Well, think about it like this way. Drew, if he's the guy, there are some potential long-term benefits beyond this year that Vic and Pat Shurmur may kind of shrug their shoulders at, because Vic and Pat are thinking about this year, about not only trying to save their jobs, but trying to get this team to its first winning season since 2016, first playoffs since 2015. You've got a defense clearly built for the now, so I don't think they're going to be as patient. The other thing with George Paton, I think Drew, Teddy, whichever one is the best guy, he's fine with, but with Paton's perspective, he certainly views things through the prism of what he saw from Bridgewater in Minnesota. And it could be fair. I don't want to put a thought in his mind, but would it surprise you at all if his thinking was, we were poised to be a Super Bowl team potentially in 2016, coming off of going 11-5, and then Bridgewater got hurt. We're 5 years removed from the injury. He's as close to fully recovered as you can get. He's had 2 at least league average years in when he played with the Saints and the Panthers. With what we've assembled around him, can he be back to where he left off before the injury, which is the kind of the last time that George Paton really watched Teddy Bridgewater extensively.
Man, but the thing with that, though, is, Mace, and I totally understand your point, but we've just got to know who Teddy is more, and the upside is pretty darn limited. And so to think that, because the Broncos have a great team, potentially, with the defense, all the weapons they have, to think that a Super Bowl team with Teddy, that seems like a stretch.
Well, the thing is, though,
Definitely a stretch.
is it a stretch? Is it a stretch? Yes. Yeah. But as far as at least getting this franchise back on its feet, getting to the playoffs, and you have excellent receiving talent. I mean, you've got, assuming Judy cuts the drops, Judy, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, Melvin Gordon, or Javonte Williams coming out of the backfield. Tim Patrick catches almost everything. KJ Hamler has speed. If you're the quarterback, you understand they can't cover everybody. It's simply saying, okay, who's open? Throw to the open guy and trust that guy is going to make a play and be able to do some things after the catch. And so if it comes down to the quarterback just being the decision maker as far as throw to the open guy, no matter who it is, that might lend itself to Teddy.
So I lean towards Michael's side here in the sense of I think the Broncos understand the benefits that come with Drew Lock figuring it out and becoming a good quarterback. But there is that side of me that's just watching George Paton's actions this offseason. And I think those actions say he certainly isn't confident that Drew Lock is going to do that. I think he knows that if it happens, that's the best thing for the Broncos.
Right.
But I think he's also saying, and this is kind of where I am, I believe in Drew Lock. I think he has whatever it takes to get to, if he can put it all together, I think he has what it takes to be a good NFL quarterback. But I'm now at the point where I'm saying that's a really risky bet for the Broncos. They're making a risky bet by saying Drew Lock is going to be that guy because we don't have enough evidence with a solid sample size at this point to say that's going to happen in more, for lack of a better term, in more simulations than it won't happen.
Well, and also with George Paton, we talked about it yesterday, guys, and that's what has he done this year with his moves? They've all been safe. Every single move has been safe. Teddy, at least right now, is the safe option. Maybe Drew proves in training camp that he can be the safe option, but just following what George has done, that would also lend it to Teddy, I think.
I do think Drew has to make a big step forward too, right? Like it can't just be Drew got a little bit better because if Drew got a little bit better, I think Teddy's still the guy, right? I think Teddy can win the competition outright. And so I think the onus is on Drew to prove that you got a lot better than where you ended last season.
This just came to me. What did you think of Michael Malone saying Michael, not Mike?
I'm a Michael guy, right?
Okay,
so I appreciate that. And poor Cassidy, right? Like on ESPN. And I think,
awkward.
Michael Malone apologized for that. But I prefer Michael. And Michael has made it known that he prefers Michael as well. And so I get that. And in the heat of the moment, he made sure to correct her real quick.
If they're up by 10, I don't think he says anything.
No, he was
that's
good.
And ESPN, to be fair, like there have been other ESPN talent that have called him Mike in the past, and I'm always like, he made a deal when he got here that he preferred Michael over Mike. And so I think sometimes, especially when people are coming up, you're like I've had this happen with other on-air talent that I've worked with. They've called me Mike, and I haven't corrected them, but somebody else has corrected them. And then they've come to me and said, hey, I'm sorry. And it's like, it's cool. I prefer Michael, but I'm not going to correct you like that. But yeah, when he did that, I was like, oh, snap. And then somebody the other day still called him Mike in one of the press conferences.
Yes, I saw
and
that.
you could see his face was like,
Are you serious?
I don't want to go here right now, right? So he just let it go. He took the high road. But yeah, I prefer Michael over Mike, so I get where he was coming from. In that
you got to take that little soundbite and make it your ringtone, or like your playback, so when people are calling you, they know to say hi, Michael.
Yeah.
I think it's Popovich calls him Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh.
He did that.
He's
one time,
really,
right?
he's really pushing the
He might be the only one who can get away with that, though. That's the thing.
Exactly. I don't know if Malone's going to step in and say something to Pop.
All right, let's get to some more hair here. Let's see what curveball.
Oh, that's Roger.
Yeah. Raj and Roger. What do he obviously led the draft. What do you think of the Broncos draft?
That was a stretch.
Wow, Zach.
I was wondering where we were going with that.
So was I.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think props to Nostradamus over here for calling the first round cornerback pick. What was
I-
that, like in April when you tweeted that out? December.
I didn't. Someone sent this to me, and it was a tweet from December after AJ Boye got suspended. And I said, okay, you have AJ Boye, Jarrell Casey, no guaranteed money. That's $25 million. You lop off the cap. Use that to re-sign Justin Simmons and Shelby Harris, and then draft a cornerback in round 1.
Nailed it.
How about
And then
that?
I saw you kind of got into it with someone in the responses. What? I didn't even understand what they were saying to you.
Someone said TBU, true but useless. And
Oh,
he
see,
said
I
that
didn't
a
know-
lot.
I didn't know
what
And my
TBU
response
was.
was,
No.
well, IDGAF. And that guy just lost it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm like, well, that guy hasn't really been very nice to me over the years.
Yeah.
Chiefs fan, so,
That's what I.
yeah,
'cause-
I'm like,
Yeah.
anyway.
Going
it
back to
happens.
you.
I never knew that.
I never
Oh,
heard that.
Well, it had been brought up to me before, and so I'm like, okay, TBU, what does that mean? So I looked it up. True but useless. Okay, that makes sense.
I said right after the Broncos last game, I said I predict that they trade back and draft Surtain. So
Yeah.
almost
All right,
happened. Almost
all right.
happened.
But I like the draft overall.
Yeah.
I thought they addressed some needs. I thought they needed some depth in the secondary. They got that in the later rounds. I like the Javonte Williams pick and trading up for him. I like the Surtain pick because he's going to be your starting corner for, I think, the next 5 years, right?
Yeah.
At least, if not more. And so I think that what George Payton did, and it seems silly, but sometimes you just don't reach. Right. And that ends up being a really good draft. And he didn't reach. There wasn't anything that I looked at and I was like, oh, really? And that to me was a really, really solid draft plan, especially in his first year. So I liked it.
Where do you stand on the whole safest pick in the draft debate? Because there's a lot of people, I guess, upset that he went safe. I don't know.
And my argument to that is always, how many times does the sexy pick work out?
Right.
And I think the safe pick ends up being the best pick more often than not. And so, yeah, sure, would it have been great for the storylines and for the podcast and for the clicks if he had traded up and drafted a quarterback? Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. But how many times does that actually work out? And how many times have we seen first-round quarterback busts? And so I like what he did, and I don't have a problem with the safe pick.
I mean, the
think that works.
quarterback is 50-50 at that range in the draft. So a corner like Surtain, probably 85-15 realistically. And even if he has floor, he's still a good starting cornerback too. And one of the things that I've been thinking about with this is how if you're George Payton, you have a 6-year contract, maybe, even though we talk about the talent on this roster and it's there, but maybe he thinks there's a little more building that needs to be done. And in that case, you say, all right, I've got to build. If it's a guy at a relatively premium position, I'm going to get a good football player here that is safe and I know is going to be a reliable starter.
And what he did throughout the course of the draft was put the Denver Broncos in a better position to win moving forward for the next 4 to 5 years. And I think that's what's important in the draft.
What bugs me about the whole thing is that the same people crushing him for taking the safe pick are the same people who would be crushing him even harder if he drafted a bust.
Yeah.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. It's very true. Now, the thing with the safe pick, that's fine to make safe moves here and there. If you're only going to make safe
Right.
moves, that's where you get in trouble.
Pick your
because
spots.
then you're never going to find a quarterback if you're going to be safe outside of potentially Aaron Rodgers, because I think even trading a lot, that is still pretty safe. But if you never are willing to take a risk, then you're going to do what the Broncos have done at quarterback the past 5 years.
And I think you could make the point that he is taking a risk by letting Drew Lock get another year, right? I mean, that's somewhat risky. And by kind of going all in, not all in, but by pushing the chips in a little bit and saying, okay, we're going to go with Drew or Teddy and see where that gets us, that's a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
It is, but he's also got a hedge that he trusts.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with
I think it's a smart risk.
With Bridgewater, at least the one thing you can say for him is, all right, has he been spectacular? No. Has he done enough to help a team win a division by being steady Teddy? Yes. I mean, really, I wonder if the conversation is different if Blair Walsh hits that kick back in the Vikings-Seahawks game in January of 2016, because Bridgewater did lead that team down the field in the 2-minute drill against the Legion of Boom.
Yep.
I mean, that
kinda
is a significant thing.
Referencing that reminds me of like when Joe Flacco got here and everyone was
Yeah.
referencing that he won a Super Bowl. And it was like, okay, well, that happened
Right.
5-6 years ago.
Right.
How much is that really worth now when we have plenty of evidence since then that he's not that guy anymore?
But at least Teddy has and his overall efficiency improved his game since then, whereas Flacco stalled and was declining.
Well, so here's probably a better place to point to for Teddy's sake is putting up over 30 points in Kansas City last year and going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. That's something that is recent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you worry about Teddy's accuracy, Mace?
I don't worry about his accuracy. I worry about him in the red zone being able to thread the needle.
Okay.
That's what I worry about, and it's that area of the field where it's compressed, and you've got to be able to zip it in there, and that's where he struggles is in the red zone.
And Drew has that zip. I wish
Yeah.
we had some evidence to say that Drew's good in the red zone because of his zip.
But they couldn't
Yeah.
get across the 50, let alone inside
Right,
the 20.
yeah.
I can't say like, yeah, remember, I mean, you go back to the Houston game 2 years ago, like he had that throw to Noah Fant. That was
Yeah.
like amazing. He really threaded it, but like try to think of a throw last year where it's
Did
like,
he throw the ball to Okwuegbunam in the back of the end zone?
Yep, he did.
Yes, he did.
That
Yeah.
was a great
Yep.
throw.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
was
I
one
mean,
that stands out.
unfortunately, the one that stands out is when he threw the dart into the end zone, and it was a laser against Oakland, and it was picked. I mean, just because it's strong doesn't mean that it's always going to be the best.
For sure.
All right, I think
have
we
more?
got one more.
Okay.
And I have no idea if this is going to be easy or tough. It's
Julio!
Oh,
close.
That's Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nailed it. Impressive.
The
Wow.
suit kind of gave it away.
Yes.
too.
I mean,
Shoulders, I mean,
what do you think of the whole situation that unfolded this week?
I think it's really unfortunate. I
Yeah.
think it's a bad look on Shannon's part that
Yeah.
you don't say, hey, we're live on TV, right? And Shannon's been
Yeah.
doing this long enough
Right.
to where he should have known that. And I think it's Jenny Taft in the background. You can hear her saying,
Does he
he
know?"
know we're live? And some of that's on Skip, too. Like, hey, you got to
Right.
tell him as soon as he answers the phone, hey, we're live on TV, because that's a really unfortunate spot for Julio to be in. I don't think that he knew. I've seen some people say like, oh, what was it, a setup? That's not Julio's type, right?
No.
I don't think that was the case. And so that part of it was unfortunate. Now, the other side of that was you got some really raw reaction and you really found out how Julio feels. But the way that it was done was very unfortunate from Julio's perspective.
I love having Michael's perspective on this
Yeah?
because you work in TV.
Yeah.
And I think that if you had said, I think it was all planned, then
Right.
it would have changed my opinion on it a little
Yeah.
bit. I really don't think it was. I don't think Julio would have played along with that.
No.
If they're like, hey, so we're going to call you, and then you're going to dunk on the Cowboys. They're like,
Like other guys might have, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
there's certain
Right.
dudes who aren't afraid to say how they really feel, who come out and have these really gregarious personalities and don't care what they say. Julio's not that type. He's very, very constructed in what he says and how he goes about his business. And so that part of it was really unfortunate.
I mean, at least the best part of it is that Cowboys fans are just in shambles.
I mean, Julio wasn't wrong though.
No, he's
Right.
What have they done in the
Where's
last 25
lie?
years?
Yeah, no. So, Michael, what do you think about Julio to the Broncos? Is that something they should do?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Look, if he were a free agent and he wanted to come here on, a veteran salary and, hey, we'll give you, a little bit to come in and lead our wide receiver room, okay. I don't want to give up a first-round pick for Julio and take on that contract.
Right.
He's a great player. There's no doubt about that. There is some injury concern there, and I think that's very legit. But, no, I don't think that Julio's a good fit for the Broncos.
Where do you think he ends up?
That's a really good question, Mace.
Thank you.
I would love to see him. I would love to see him in Tennessee. I love what AJ Brown's doing and trying to get in there. But the other part of that, and I feel like this gets lost in the Aaron Rodgers thing, it's not just up to Julio, right? Like the Falcons have to play along here too. And AJ Brown's like, hey man, come to Tennessee. We'd love to have you here.
Right.
Well, if it were just up to Julio and he were a free agent, maybe. But the Titans and the Falcons would have to work something out there. I think people forget about that. Everybody's like, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers, why wouldn't he just sign in Denver? Well, because he doesn't have the ability to just sign in Denver, So I don't think he's back with the Falcons. I don't think there's any way now.
The Titans would be crazy.
Yes.
Because you start looking at that offense, Tannehill, Brown, Julio, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
How do you stop that? But the thing is, you look at that defense, and it's how can they stop anybody?
Yeah.
The Titans, if they got Julio, would be kind of that NBA League Pass team. You'd want to watch him if your team wasn't playing every week, because they would play these 38-35 games week after
Take
week.
the over.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Are you going to stick around for the second segment?
Yeah,
Hey,
we got a draft
awesome.
coming up.
Yeah, we are
Love
going
it.
to we're going to see who can draft the best team of current Broncos here in a second. But before we do that, it's Friday, which means it's a Breck Brew Friday. I'm actually getting out for a little 9 holes after work today. You know I'm going to bring some good company hard seltzers out there. Don't tell the course. But you got to get in on these. I am obsessed with the lemonades. I told you the other day, I've decided you take the lemonade seltzer, you throw it on ice, nothing better.
Can't beat it.
It is the ultimate summer drink. If you're feeling real crazy, you could throw a little floater on there on top. But these Breck Brew hard seltzers are awesome, and of course we know the beers are amazing. I think we crushed 2 kegs yesterday at the DNVR bar. I love the look on the face, like they just pull it and nothing comes, and they're like, oh, we got to do another one. But you got to get in on these Breck Brews. Whatever your favorite style of beer is, I guarantee if you try the Breck Brew version of it, you're going to love it.
You know what else was flowing last night at the DNVR bar? It was the member beers. The big beers were flowing last night for the game. And, man, the place was popping again. It was so much fun. And, of course, when you're here, get a member beer. If you're one of our members, you get 22-ounce beer for the price of a 16-ounce beer. And that's just one of the perks of becoming a member and joining our family over at DNVR. Of course, you get to read all of our content, and there's really no better time to get in on all of our content than playoffs for Avs, Nuggets, maybe Aaron Rodgers stuff coming. And you get a free shirt when you sign up for an annual membership. The shirts are just the best. So many people were wearing them last night, and that just scratches the surface of what you get, and you get to support us. And we really, really appreciate that. So make sure to go to thednvr.com and join our family.
A lot of people were smiling at last night, I imagine. I saw the pictures. So if you want to have your smile in tip-top shape, you got to check out our friends over at Green Mountain Dental, the best damn family-owned dentist in the metro area. A lot of members of the DNVR family have made them their permanent family dentist, and they've been a great partner of ours over the years. If you don't know, Green Mountain Dental Group is in Lakewood, and they're big-time Colorado sports fans, so they're going to kind of see the world in much the same way you see the world, and they're going to treat you like family. We talk about the DNVR family. You're part of the Green Mountain family. First of all, they're going to send you a card when you become a new patient. They're going to call and check up on you after surgery, as our sales director, Lindsay, found out. The other thing is, if you schedule cleaning and x-ray, you're going to get a free Sonicare toothbrush, and that is not any kind of throwaway freebie. I use the Sonicare toothbrush, and the thing I love about it is it will promote good brushing habits, because you should brush your teeth for 2 minutes every time, right?
It does the little...
Blink, yeah. For each quarter of the mouth, 30 seconds, you're brushing, beep. Then you go to another quarter, beep, and then on and on. So if you tend to kind of skimp on how much time you brush your teeth, if you go to Green Mountain Dental and get that free Sonicare toothbrush, you won't do that anymore. They're 15 minutes from downtown Denver, and they always want you to know that the first step to good health is by taking care of your mouth, and there's no better place to do that than Green Mountain Dental Group in Lakewood.
Love it. That's an important lesson for me. We get lots of those on this show.
I don't know about that. I mean, a lot of what I say is
Shall
just
we
crap.
enter the great 2021 Broncos draft? So here's what we're doing here. We're not putting together the best team, because one of us would not have a quarterback and someone else would have Brett Rippon. So it's just about getting the best players on this team together. So
Can you still draft quarterbacks?
of course, but there shouldn't really be a quarterback premium put, unless you want to.
And like,
you
are
can.
we building like a legit team? Like, do I need to start on the inside? And
No, your goal
All
is
right.
to
Best
draft
player.
the team that people will like the most.
Okay. all right,
No,
all right,
no
cool.
salary cap.
And we're doing 5 picks, I think.
Oh, we are doing
Yeah,
five.
Oh.
yeah, we're going 5 deep.
That's gonna
I love the
pick
the
20
avatar
is
for
gonna be
Spencer.
Shout out to Carol.
Do we?
Damn,
So-
Dale, he went in on that one. That's great.
So we do snake draft style, and I think we should let our guest choose what pick he wants.
Oh, going number 1 overall.
Oh,
huh?
there
You want one?
You want one?
Yeah.
You can choose
You get
No,
one,
no,
and then
actually,
you get
I'm going to
8.
go 4. I'm going to go 4.
4. Okay,
Alright.
he's having the
Okay.
back-to-back. So is Mace going 1 then?
I guess I'm going.
We'll just go in the order that
Alright.
it's on there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Number 1, man. Ooh.
I was thinking about, like,
This
Is
is
it a
tough.
bad thing that it's not like a drop dead guarantee? This is your first pick.
This is the Eric Fisher year.
Right.
It
I
means
hate
you
to
don't
say
have
it.
a quarterback.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I think it's good.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
I don't know. I feel like we always do these like graphics and stuff with like the 4 superstars of Denver, and the one that you like always just go to is Vaughn because he's a Super Bowl 50 MVP, but he hasn't done anything in a couple of years now. So
Yeah.
it's like, who is the Broncos superstar?
Yeah, I think my first pick.
I know what mine would have been.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if we're just going by kind of popularity, best player, got to go with the guy who's been All-Pro, Pro Bowler recently, and the guy who just got the biggest contract for a safety in the NFL. That's Justin
Fair.
Simmons.
That's where I was
Fair.
going.
Yeah.
Good
Very
pick, Mace. Good pick.
Yeah, that safe pick.
I was gonna.
There's
go
nothing
somewhere
wrong
else.
with safe, but that's a
was
safe
gonna-
pick.
I can't reveal it.
He was gonna go somewhere
There's,
else.
there's
huh?
still someone on
I
the
thought
board.
Simmons was the
Yeah.
most obvious.
That makes
pick.
sense. Yeah.
He's he's got the combination of being young and awesome.
Yep.
And he got a
literally
pick
paid
yesterday.
Yeah, he did get a pick yesterday.
And then all
nope,
the
you can't
Against
talk
the
about it.
mystery-
You can't talk about
no,
it.
I'm just saying I was pointing out what happened. All the sleuths on Twitter did the freeze frame. That's right. Oh my
Mysterious
god, this is
quarterback.
this is where we've come to. Golly.
I
What
actually
else
think
are we
it's,
gonna do?
I think it's very impressive that people were able to. I watched it. I was like, oh, I wonder who that was from. Moved on. And some good investigative work is what I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, the Broncos,
That's what the internet's
they
for.
cut that specifically
They
so you
thought they
couldn't
were safe.
see
Yep.
who threw it.
Yep.
So they thought they had it,
Well,
but then
I love
the
that
eagle
the
eyes
reaction
said
on Twitter
otherwise.
wasn't, wow, Justin Simmons is going to have a great year.
Right.
It was, oh,
Right.
man, who's the quarterback that threw that one?
But that's where people are conditioned. But
course.
Yeah.
why can't it be that an all-pro made a great play,
Yeah.
made a great break on the ball, and picked it off?
I don't know. It's funny though. All right, I am going merely off of popularity here, trying to boost my standing with the fans when we put the poll out afterwards. I'm taking Von Miller.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, that's a good pick right there. I'm going to. I think my first overall pick. I think he's going to last till the second round.
Oh.
So I'm
What are you
gonna
doing?
roll the dice on that
Okay.
one. But I'm gonna go. People love Cortland Sutton.
Dang.
Yes,
So
they do.
I'm gonna
Oh.
go Cortland Sutton right there.
Cortland was going to be my pick, so now I'm like pulling up the roster.
So are you like Jerry Jones now upset that the guy?
Yeah,
who
right. The
went
wide
running-
receiver that
Zach
I
got
really wanted
Paxton Lynch.
was taken right in front of me. Oh man.
Don't worry, I have my draft board right here. I came prepared, so you can.
Yeah,
absolutely
I
look
didn't
at the
even know we were
roster.
doing the draft today. I'm
I know,
already
yeah.
behind
Yeah,
here.
you guys are prepared. We're just kind of winging it off top of our heads over here.
All right, let me see. I think
You got back-to-back picks here.
I got back-to-back
Yep,
picks
yep,
here.
yep.
Yeah.
which is
So
I
no
think
real
you made the
pressure.
right choice.
Yeah.
I
here.
think I can probably,
I agree.
There's a lot of you go back-to-back, you're gonna get
Yeah.
two really
Especially
solid
like
guys.
you said, there wasn't a clear, obvious one.
I think I
Right.
know who you're gonna take.
Yeah. Good, because I get to pick before you.
I'm gonna go. This is a little bit off the board,
Uh-oh.
but since we're going kind of fan favorites, I'm gonna go a guy that everybody can root for, a guy who has had some trials and some tribulations, who has made it through. Give me Shelby Harris.
Oh,
As my,
I like
as my
that. That's
First
really
round
good.
pick.
Yeah. I actually
Big
thought when you were
contract in the
saying his
offseason.
made it through thing, I thought you were going Garrett Bowles there.
I thought about Garrett Bowles.
wow.
I thought about Garrett Bowles. And then for my first pick in the second round, I'm
Don't
gonna
forget,
go-
Shelby's a podcast guy now too.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
forget.
One of
Shell Shock
us.
podcast.
And I tell you what, he's really gracious with his time too. And you guys
Yeah.
know, like having
Yes.
covered him, he's always really gracious with his time. The other guy, I'm gonna go Noah Fant.
Oh,
As
yeah.
my
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
pick in the second
That was
round.
a really good one.
That
I was
that's-
hoping that Noah would fall. That's my guy.
Man,
Vaughn and I agree on Noah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my first overall pick. Who I would have gone.
Can I guess first?
Yep.
Wait, I don't want to.
Yep. No, guess.
No, I'm not gonna. I'll just
Then
tell
I'll
you
take it.
if I was right.
Patrick
Yep.
Surtain, the second.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
the guy that's
Yeah.
never played a snap, but top 10 pick.
I knew you were going that way.
Yeah. Mr. Alabama.
A reach.
No, I think you're smart because the unknown is the
Right,
strongest thing.
right.
You know? Like everyone loves Patrick Surtain because no one's seen him play yet.
Right. Yep.
He hasn't had a chance to do anything wrong. Now this guy has had a chance to do something wrong, and he's done a few things wrong. But I personally think I was going to say might be. I think he is the most talented player on the Broncos.
Oh,
Jerry Jeudy.
yeah.
Whew, yeah, great
I'd
pick
agree with
there.
that assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get him, 7th? Pretty
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I know people freak out over the drops, and that might hurt me in the polls, but I'm still so bullish on his ability.
Yeah.
And I really believe that if Aaron Rodgers becomes the quarterback here,
He's going to explode.
Okay.
all pro,
Yeah.
you know, like just off the charts, 1,500 receiving yards,
Yep.
all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you see what Devontae Adams has done.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is good. I don't think he's a top 3 receiver.
You're going to get pushback on that.
Okay,
You're gonna
okay.
get
So,
pushback
but
on
what
that.
happens when he leaves Green Bay, though, or if he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers? That's what I'm saying.
And that's what we'll find out.
I'm saying. What would that do for Jerry Jeudy?
Right.
Like Devontae Adams had a huge jump. How big of a jump would it be?
I point out that Devontae Adams has played a lot without Aaron Rodgers over the last 3 years, and he's still been a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, a lot of
That's the thing.
I had a take like that, and I got crushed for it, and I learned a little bit. I think he
Okay.
is really, really good.
Oh, I think he's really good. I don't
I think he's actually elite.
You do
without Aaron
Okay,
Rodgers.
okay. I guess we'll find out maybe.
With all respect to the receivers the Broncos have now, he would be wide receiver 1 if he were here.
Easy.
I think so too.
I think easy.
That's yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe not in a couple years.
Right, but
Because
right
I-
now,
I
today,
believe that much in Jerry
today,
Jeudy.
yes. But I think I kind of agree with you. It'd be Jerry Jeudy. in
Oh,
2 years.
who's going to be wide receiver 1 in a couple years, Jerry or Cortland?
Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might even be this year.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Especially just how Cortland comes back and
Yeah.
all that stuff. How
Jerry's
explosive
ability
he
to
is.
get open, man. Whew.
That
Second to none.
I mean, I don't want to take too much from 7-on-7. But that was the thing that jumped out watching him on Monday. He was making people look bad.
He's uncoverable.
Exactly.
He just
with his
has to
routes.
catch the ball.
Yeah. It was incredible to watch.
There's a reason Drew threw to him like 7 times or like 12 times in the game that he had 5-6 drops.
Yep.
'Cause he
If he's
kept getting
open, you gotta go there.
So, all right. I'm actually a little bit surprised that these 2 picks have dropped. Garrett Bowles, Bradley Chubb.
Oh wow,
Mace
Bradley
cheating off my
Chubb,
list over
good
here.
one.
So did you go technically Garrett Bowles before Bradley Chubb?
Yes.
All pro last year.
Wow.
Oh, great. Now I'm back on the clock.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, that was
and then
quick.
Chubb, he's got the 5th-year option. You do want to see him kind of take the next step forward this year, and so there's still that kind of untapped potential. And if he can tap into that, then you've got a significant part of your long-term planning set with him on the edge.
Some really good options here. Do I go young? Do I go older? I'm gonna try to take a page out of Zach's book here with the power of the unknown and go with a guy that I actually think is
yeah.
going to be RB1 by the end of the year.
Gosh,
Javonte
dang it.
Williams.
Yep. That's
a good
a that's a
pick.
good
Thank you.
one.
That's a good pick.
That's a really good one. And I'm going to go with a Pro Bowler. Unfortunately, he wasn't here at OTAs this week, but I'm going to go Kyle Fuller
Nice.
with this one. And, man, if he's back to Vic Fangio of 2018 working in his defense, then I think I got a steal here.
Yeah, it's funny. We talk about this this secondary and so much praise for the whole thing. It went Simmons and then Surtain and Fuller's the third one. He might be the most, or arguably, he's definitely the most accomplished corner in the group.
Right.
Yeah.
But no one, maybe he's getting underplayed a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I also think this draft speaks to where Patrick Surtain is going to be playing this year.
Yeah.
Because he is not going to be, a 5th, 6th.
Vic's
Right.
trying to make him earn it. And I think everyone can see right through it.
Yeah.
Whose playing time is he taking, though?
Everyone's. No
I mean-
one's. I don't know. He's going to
He's
be
not
out there.
taking Fuller's time,
It's going to be Bryce Callahan. I think.
probably.
Yeah.
Via injury?
No, we can't trust you to not get injured, so we're putting Patrick Surtain in your place.
So they're going to play Surtain on the inside.
I think so.
Man, I think Darby is potentially the odd man out, but it's the awkward one because it's he has a contract.
Yeah.
Is he getting paid the most?
Yep.
10 mil a year.
There's no way.
I mean-
There's just no way.
Over the long haul, Fuller has I believe Fuller has the biggest cap number this year, but
I think it's 9.5.
yeah.
Oh, so cap hit, yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
Darby's is
they
lower.
deferred a bit of Darby's, but
Right.
basically Darby's going to be here the next 2 years. And actually, that's another interesting thing to consider is that Surtan's here for the long haul. Darby's going to be here for the next at least 2 years because of the contract being structured that way. And Callahan and Fuller are the short-timers. Although I would not be surprised, gentlemen, if Fuller does well enough and likes playing here enough to where he says, I want to come back.
I could totally see
Yeah.
that.
I also think that they are preparing themselves to get creative with how many defensive backs they put on the field.
I totally agree with that.
Third
too.
and 10 against the Chiefs.
Right.
You might see six DBs out
You
there.
need them.
Yeah.
And that would be smart, right?
Yeah, and we've proven they've proven that they can't really cover a tight end right now.
Yep.
And so I think that's part of it too. And I don't know that necessarily one of those guys is going to fill that hole, but I think there's absolutely situations where you're going to see a bunch of DBs on the field.
I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Surtain lined up on the tight
I
end
can see that too.
on Waller and Kelsey. Very similar to go back a few years, and I think it was when the Patriots were playing the Saints, and Aqib Talib mashed up on Jimmy Graham, and Graham was torching everybody at that point, and Talib shut him down.
Well, remember that was what Aqib said before he retired was Bill called me.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick said, "Hey, come strap some tight ends for me."
Yeah.
That's the thinking now
Right.
is you take a guy like that and put him on those tight ends. And Aqib said he looked at that list and was like, "Oh no, I'm out."
That's the thing. That's such a big ask of a rookie. Running stride for stride with a fast guy is one thing. Having to cover Travis Kelce and Darren Waller is a big ask for a guy who hasn't been in an NFL training program. Like, those guys are going to push him around.
So who do you ask to do it then?
I don't know. There's a reason why the Broncos haven't figured this out for 5 years.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, I'm up.
Back to back.
I feel like I have no, not really a flashy team, but I feel like I've got a lot of substance, and I'm gonna continue to go down that route. I'm gonna go with Kareem Jackson.
Nice.
Good
That
pick.
was
Good pick.
Really
Yep.
like Kareem.
He was top of my
I
board.
think that's a really good locker room dude. I feel like he can, and then he can come in and lay the boom, right?
Yep.
Even if it's on his own teammates sometimes. And then my next pick, I'm still going with substance. I'm going Alexander Johnson.
Oh.
yeah.
Your team, all those guys, like, remind me of each other in some way. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but they look like they belong on a team together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they do. And
Thank you. I think that's a vote for me, for the fans who are listening right now. Yeah.
I'm going to go a position that I haven't touched yet, and I'm going to go offensive line, Dalton Reisner
Oh,
here.
that's my
good
pick.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And a fan favorite, so that'll help too.
Yeah.
Where do I go now? Okay. I'm gonna go with a guy who I think would fit in really well on Michael's team here. Just solid, not crazy flashy. I'm going Tim Patrick.
That was going to be my next
Damn it, that was my pick. Oh, man.
Back to back for Mace to end off his draft.
Yeah.
And then I gotta go again.
All right. Okay.
Yes. That is. I'm still grasping the concept. It's not how it works. In the
All right.
NFL.
I'm looking at who's out there right now.
Josie Jewell.
Calvin Anderson.
Caden Stearns.
Oh, Calvin.
All right. It's going to be totally not flashy here, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Melvin Gordon.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean,
Good value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great value.
And then a couple of directions that you can go in here that pop to mind.
We've stumped him. Look at this.
This is the last rounds are always the toughest.
I've got mine, and I really hope you don't take them.
Now he's trying to figure out
You know
what's
what?
yours.
What the hell? I'm gonna take Drew Lock.
Oh,
All right.
This is an
Okay,
interesting
how about
move.
that?
You just lost half of the audience, but you also gained half
Yeah.
of the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'm going Draymond Jones.
I like that.
Yep.
I like
yep.
that.
That's a really good one. Man, where do I go here? I think we're at the end of the list. I think
There's no
talent,
more good players.
I think talent has fallen off. I'll go with Flash. I'll go with KJ Hamler.
Okay.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right.
Just
all right.
the potential there.
Well,
He
yeah,
was on
so
my
I think
list.
he's still really talented.
Yeah. Oh, very talented. Yeah.
I'm going to go, I feel like I need another offensive player. I'm going to go Quinn Miners.
Oh,
I was
Because
thinking
I
about
like
it.
That's
I
a
like
good
that.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Popularity.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Man, that's good.
And I think he fits in well with my locker room.
Yeah.
This man, I'm looking at these teams.
Who do we think's gonna win?
Well, I mean, they're all kind of incomplete. I mean, I've got a quarterback but no offensive line, and
But it's all about
I
just
know.
who's the most popular.
yeah.
Man, I think Von's
think
gonna
I
be
might.
tough.
Yeah.
Vaughn's going to be tough to beat, especially as the number 2 pick. That's
Yeah.
solid value.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
pick-
look at that.
and
My guy
Cortland-
Samuel Bisu. Thank you.
Yeah, Cortland and Surtain on the same team is a good one, Zach.
I like. Thank you. Oh, well, this is.
I just
blast.
realized I probably ticked between Locke and Bowles. I probably ticked off half the fan base with my picks, but
I wonder. So who
and
would've
Melvin
been-
Gordon isn't even very popular either. But
If you had another pick, who would have been your next pick? Do you have anyone in mind? Oh, he looks at
Darby.
his board.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. Darby Callahan.
Callahan.
But Callahan is just the injury,
I know.
and I don't think people
No one
trust
yeah,
him.
No one does.
Graham Glasgow.
No,
No. Okay. Good thing. I almost went him.
it's a good thing you didn't.
I thought about Kush and Cushenberry.
Yeah.
I don't know that he played well enough to be up there
I
yet.
don't think so.
Yeah. Was anyone thinking Teddy?
Nope.
There's just no sexy
I just don't think-
factor to him.
Like I've maybe heard from like 5 people total that like really like Teddy Bridgewater.
As fans?
Yeah.
Okay. So the opposite of like teammates.
The opposite of players in the
Yeah.
NFL, which is literally 100% approval rate
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Teddy
Yeah.
Bridgewater.
100% like love rate.
Yes. It's weird. I've never heard players talk about a guy like they talk about
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater.
After meeting him for one day too.
Yeah, well, and just
no, this is guys like in Carolina.
even before,
Yeah.
I mean, just
New
anyone
Orleans,
he's played
Minnesota.
And it's guys that met him on Monday when we talked
Yeah.
to some guys
Who
too.
was
though.
saying that they worked out with him in Florida? Oh, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin.
Melvin Gordon was, I mean, just, it's crazy. Everyone loves him. In terms of fans, everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's here.
Right. Right. Exactly.
He's going to have to do something to win the fans over. And I would say, let's say Teddy Bridgewater is the starter. I don't think he starts winning the fans over unless the Broncos beat the Ravens or the Steelers, preferably the Ravens at home. If they're 4-0 and Teddy is the starter, I think people would start buying into that.
I would hope at
Oh,
that point.
absolutely.
But the problem is the first 3 games are Giants, Jaguars, Jets. And so whether it's Teddy or Drew, it doesn't. If you're 3-0, there's going to be that, okay, you got Baltimore, you got Pittsburgh, and then a little bit after that you got Cleveland, and then Washington's pass rush. That's where you're going to start learning about what that guy can do.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Michael Spencer, thank you
That was
so
awesome.
Thank you
much
guys.
for joining
Thanks
us.
so much.
Hey,
man,
Our
this
pleasure.
is a
Big
blast.
fans of the podcast, and thank you, Kale. Big fan of everything that you guys do at DNVR. So thanks so much for having
Well,
me.
and I want to return that. I think that you guys over at CBS4 are doing a fantastic job of trying to modernize what you're doing over there. And I think that you guys deserve recognition for that because you're doing some really, really cool stuff.
Well, thank you. Ryan Green is kind of the spearhead of all that, and he and Romy, they're just a joy to work with. So thank you.
Awesome.
Hey.
All right, we're going to let you go. And as we do, I'm going to tell the good people here about DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I was actually talking with a guy downstairs last night. He was a big DraftKings guy. So big he was wearing a DraftKings hat.
Wow.
Yeah, he was all
big
about
company guy.
But he had the same perspective on it as me, which is that if you come into betting on sports thinking you're going to be a millionaire off of it, you're going to have a bad time. If you look at this as I'm going to make it more fun to watch a game,
Yeah.
you're going to have an amazing time. And I think that's the perfect way to look at it. So make sure you head over to DraftKings and use the code DNVR when you sign up to get a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. And this week you can bet $5 on any NBA team and get $200 in free bets if you're a new user and you get it right. So pick wisely, Could have gone Nuggets last night. And you can turn 5 into $200. It's a pretty sick deal. Of course, you must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough and restrictions to apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, off the top of your head. Love
That's
it.
yeah.
I do that 2 times a day when it's not on this show.
Right. And guys, we're only a couple blocks away from our friends over at Solace Meds right now. Of course, they got a location just a few blocks away on East Colfax. They've
Mike,
got
you're
a
allowed to
location.
just leave whenever you want.
I mean, you're welcome to hear the picture.
They've got one in
Stay on being
Wheatridge,
sold.
one on Broadway, one in Fort Collins, and they are offering some great deals this month. They're offering 20% off all Glacier concentrates, 20% off Mile High extractions, 20% off CBN gummies, 2 for $25 Koala and Solace bars. And guys, they've got a deal. What? They're offering a deal: buy 3, get 1 free in the entire store. That's nothing to laugh about, Ryan. That's a great deal. And on top of it, if you use the code DNVR20, you'll get 20% off plus all of those deals over at Solace Meds. You can head in store or go to their website, solacemeds.com. That's SOALCE.
No.
SOLACE meds.com, and make sure to use that code DNVR20.
I just randomly was thinking about that story that I told you.
That's one worth laughing about.
Also, I accidentally just called you Mike. That's not.
It's all good. See, but I just let
that's
it
how
go,
you're
right? I
sending
just
them off?
So you
I'm
should
in a
have
good
said
mood,
it's
not a big
Michael and
deal.
walked off.
Stormed off.
Yep. Also, before we go, I'll tell you about the Colorado XOs. Rugby Town USA is excited to introduce you to their new venture and team, which is the Colorado XOs, who are athletes who have competed at the highest level of their respective sports. They come from backgrounds in football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, soccer, track, and they possess the necessary skills to excel at the game of rugby. You can learn them all about these athletes over at Infinity Park at Glendale.com. And by placing these former athletes in a full-time rugby training environment, Rugby Town USA in Glendale hopes to expedite their development and get the U.S. national team to have more talent to allow them to compete on the global stage and ultimately win the Rugby World Cup, something that seems like a dream, but maybe someday will be a reality. And our guy, Colton Strickler, has it all covered for you on the weekly DNVR Rugby podcast, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and you can learn about rugby with his Rugby 101 podcast, get betting advice on Super Rugby, and you know what? If you didn't get the ticket to sporting success that you want from another sport, maybe check out rugby. Maybe your next ride. Check out the opportunities in Infinity Park to play rugby. You might fall in love with another sport and find that you excel.
What's more likely, USA Rugby World Cup or Soccer World Cup?
Probably soccer.
Do you think that happens in our lifetimes?
How long am I going to live?
How long am I gonna live?
You know, I used to have a dream that by 2034 the U.S. would win the World Cup in soccer.
Specific dream.
But the problem
Only Mace's dreams in such specifics.
it's hit a snag with not qualifying for Russia 2018, and
That
this
sucked.
the current side right now just looks so languid.
Yeah.
When I watch them, I get no optimism watching.
Languid is the
national
exact word that comes to mind.
So I feel like the progress has stalled a little bit. U.S. soccer needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
At the top, U.S. soccer as an organization is a nepotistic, cronyistic mess. Needs to
Exact
be
words
burned to
that
the
come to my
ground.
mind.
Start over. again.
Cronyistic. I've
Well,
been
it's kind
saying
of
that
like,
for years.
I mean, on a different scale, it's like the basketball team, right? Like when the
Yeah.
basketball team had its struggle, they had to go in and revamp that whole thing and
Yes.
get some people in charge who weren't there and get some new minds full, and they need to do the same thing with soccer.
Yeah.
All right, I think we have our red zone guest here. You're welcome to stick around and watch as who do we have in the red zone today?
We have our guy Kelly Tobin, Coach
Ah,
Tobin,
yes, Coach Tobin.
joining us today.
What's up, Coach?
Hold up. I'm getting his audio set up.
Oh, we don't have his
bringing
audio.
him in.
We went too quick. There it is. What's up, Coach?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah,
we
we got
got you. What's up?
How are y'all doing today?
We're doing great.
We're doing great.
I'm a little nervous though, going up against a coach and some trivia.
So here's how this works. If you haven't seen, first he's got to go up against Zach. Mace is going to provide trivia questions from 2015 on, or the post-Peyton Manning era. If he can beat Zach, he's going to take on me. If he can beat me, he's going to take on Mace. No one will ever beat Mace, but it's funny to watch them lose.
We'll see. Someday someone will. Anyway.
I doubt it.
It's about
Probably not.
2020 season. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Who led the Broncos in sacks last year?
I let Coach go first.
Malik Reed.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
8 sacks
right
last year.
on. Yep. And he was just above Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
By a half sack.
Yeah. Pretty wild. And how much is he going to see the field this year?
Enough.
30%?
You hope so, but the problem is Vic Fangio doesn't rotate his edges the way that Wade Phillips did. When Wade was here, you knew that even if there weren't injuries, that Shaq and Shane Ray were going to get time. But Vic likes to have his primary guys out there 90% of the snaps.
Yeah. All right. I
So-
guess next one. And now is it?
Are you going to try this time?
I won't give Coach the first opportunity this time. I'll jump in if I know.
All right. The first season post-Peyton, 2016, it was the last season of the Broncos as a really elite defense, it turned out. Who led the Broncos in total tackles that year?
Todd Davis.
Correct.
Oh,
That's my
quick,
guy, though.
Quick draw.
Wow.
I knew you knew that.
Mr.
I wouldn't
Tackle
have got that
Machine.
one.
Yeah. All right. Third question.
That was a big one.
This is the
Good
rubber
luck.
match.
Good luck, Coach.
Who caught Brock Osweiler's last touchdown pass as a Bronco?
Jeff Hireman?
Correct.
Yes!
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The Colts.
That play actually lives in folklore on this podcast
Yeah.
because Zach and I that whole season had been talking about how the longest play of the year was a completion to Virgil Green for like 35 yards or something.
Yep.
And we talked about it like every show. We're like, this offense has no explosion. And then finally it was 75-yard touchdown to Jeff Hireman?
I'm not sure.
It was
It
above
was in
50.
Indy, right?
In
Yeah.
Indy on
In
Thursday Night
Indy,
Football.
Thursday Night
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Because-
goodness we've talked about that, or else I would not have
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
Brock played one more game, but he didn't throw a touchdown pass. CJ had a touchdown run there.
Shocking. All right,
Huh.
you get one question here, unopposed, to move on to the
All right.
second round. Mace, you have an
And
extra
we're all
one?
pulling for you.
All right. We're going to go back to leading tacklers. Who led the Broncos in tackles last season?
I'm going to say Alexander Johnson.
Correct.
Yeah,
Nice.
let's
There you go.
I would
go.
have said Josie. I would have said Josie. Would have got that one.
He was
wrong.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
All right.
man, love it. You just
Second
go with the
round. Now
big-
you get to go up against me.
Mm.
No
All
more
right.
lifelines, though.
Oh yes, Ryan's gonna be tough. Okay, let me pull up my questions here. All right. What quarterback since Peyton Manning's departure has the best winning percentage?
Drew Lock.
Trevor Simeon.
Yeah, Trevor Simeon.
Neither?
Nope.
Oh,
I see.
Oh,
No.
Brett Rippin.
Yes.
Yep, and then
That was
Trevor.
shady.
Yeah, that was a little trick one.
Well,
Yeah, that
I
was
thought
me.
the what was it, 4-1 for Drew in the end?
But
I
then-
thought that would boost
But then
him.
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
What were they in his starts last year? Or what do you know what his record
Okay,
is?
well, with Driscoll started, they lost the game that Driscoll started. They won the game that Ripper.
Oh, so that hurts.
So it would
yeah.
be 4-10.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
I was very
The minimum attempts gets you on that. Good question.
Right, it does. It does. Or else, yeah, it would have been Trev with a 13-11 record.
good guess.
How about that? Okay. What former
4-9,
Heisman
sorry.
earned the Thanksgiving game MVP award for
Ron
rushing
Dane.
for? Wow, not
Yeah.
even fair.
Wow.
Wow, that was just mean.
Sorry.
Wow.
that was on
We
the
keep
tip of my
another
tongue.
bonus.
I thought this was trivia post Peyton Manning.
This was
yeah.
so it starts post Peyton
Oh,
Manning,
just round one.
then round two is
Right.
post 2000, round 3 is anytime.
Got you. Okay.
Okay. Here's an unopposed
We're
question.
giving him a free one because
Well-
I jumped the gun there. I used to have a problem when I was in school of blurting out the answers in class before the class got a chance to. So now I actually got in a lot of trouble for that.
Poor night.
Was that second grade or something?
That
I
was
feel?
4th grade.
Fourth grade.
Yep.
Oh, you were older.
Some
Okay.
scars there.
Yeah,
Disappointing.
this was cut deep. Now I feel bad. So we're gonna give
Coach
him
probably wouldn't have liked that.
Yeah,
Wouldn't have
exactly.
liked that attitude.
Wow.
Okay, so here's and this is the one. If he gets it, he just moves on. He moves
moves
past
on.
you.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Which Bronco abruptly retired halfway through the season, only to sign with the Chiefs a few weeks later?
I know this one.
So we're going back like 15 years, I think.
Maybe more.
Mm,
It's a tough.
it's either a receiver, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Give you that hint.
Hmm.
What's another hint that we have for him?
They used to chant his name in the stands, but for someone else. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, his first name.
Yes, his first name.
Yeah. Okay. I like that hint.
I can see him. I just don't know his name. And I remember this.
Yep.
He's very forgettable.
Yeah. Broncos fans.
I know I don't know it. I'm just going to throw a name out there. I got nothing.
Eddie
Does that help?
Kennison.
Yep.
Eddie Kennison.
Kennison, gosh.
That was a tough one.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
But I mean, if you're gonna face Mace, you gotta hit some tough
Yeah,
ones. You
that's
gotta,
true.
you know.
Yeah.
Whereas the fans called him Eddie Quitterson.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's like the worst joke to me in sports when you try to change someone's name, like
To that.
LeBum James. It just sounds so you end up sounding way dumb.
I don't know.
Right.
Quitterson was actually pretty good.
Brent
that was
Osweiler.
that was off the tongue.
Just stop. All right. Well, it was a
Case
great effort.
Keesum.
Yeah, well, that's actually a good one.
That wasn't the
Sorry.
fans that changed it.
No.
Good effort, Coach. We appreciate having you on. Way to make it to the second round.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you guys.
Thanks for playing with us.
Thanks for playing.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
As always, we finish by me just giving Mace the questions I was going to ask against him.
Oh, let's have Michael go up
Oh,
against
no,
him
no, no,
with
we don't need
These are the hardest.
I had a really good time. Ryan told me I could leave.
Hey, thank you. You've been great.
These are the hardest in history.
If you know it, they'll blurt it out.
I'm going to be mad if Mace gets all three of these. All right. Greek notably has been the Broncos or had been the Broncos trainer for 40 years.
Yeah.
Who's the Broncos trainer before him?
Oh God, I don't know. Oh man, I have
Good
no
one.
clue.
Good, yes. I was like, this has to be too hard. A guy by the name of Alan Hurst.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Now we're going into the strike-shortened season.
Okay. Which one? 82 or
87.
87? Okay.
There's 3 games that season played by replacement players during
Okay.
the strike.
Yeah.
Who's the Broncos quarterback, the replacement quarterback?
Replacement quarterback. Ken Karcher.
Yes.
Oh, wow. It wouldn't have got that.
Okay, and in these 3 games started by Ken Karcher, what was the Broncos' record?
2-1.
2-1 against those questions.
Wow. You stumped him once, though.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't know who the trainer was. I'm not. Gonna
I'm
lie.
actually just because I've kind of gone through media guides over the years, like, oh yeah, now I've seen that name, and I couldn't remember it. I blanked. So Alan Hurst. I won't know.
Yeah, now you'll never forget.
You won't forget that one.
I won't forget Alan Hurst. Yes.
I won't either.
Yes,
That's my
Steve-
favorite part about coming up with
yeah.
these trivia questions. Now I know a bunch of
Yeah.
useless
Yeah.
Broncos things.
It's true. You'll be good in trivia.
Yeah.
What was it,
Absolutely.
TBU?
Maybe-
What
Yeah.
was the?
True but
True but
useless.
useless. Ken Karcher.
maybe what we do, like, you know how they have trivia games at bars? Maybe we can have like a Denver sports trivia game here at the DNVR bar.
Oh, it has
That
been
goes-
discussed.
yes.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah, we're gonna definitely have trivia at some point here in the bar. Obviously on off nights, that'll be super fun.
You're out,
we
Mace.
can
You can't
recycle
participate.
some of
I
these.
think
yeah.
I think I'd be writing the questions.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
host.
Yeah.
But I think you would write questions too hard.
Yeah.
Like one time I went to trivia at this place
Yeah.
and I didn't know any of the answers to the questions and I had a terrible time. But it was like really like deep cut, like Harry Potter questions and just like.
See, I tried to dial it back today. Like I realized,
Yeah.
I thought the questions I asked last week were too tough, and so I
Yeah.
tried to dial them to okay, they're not obvious, but you can an educated guess is going to probably get it right.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Like if you really think about 2016 leading tackler, like well, Trevathan had left, Marshall was kind of hurt. The process of elimination would probably have left you with Todd Davis or TJ Ward 50-50.
Yep, for sure. Well, Michael Spencer, now
Awesome.
officially the first ever guest
Yes.
on this show to stay the whole
I
time.
feel like, have I overstayed my welcome?
No, come.
You set a new
Yeah.
precedent.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna
No,
come,
it's great.
I'm off. I'm
you're
good.
gonna come on set. You got to stay the whole time now. Those are the new rules.
I love it. This has been a blast.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you
my
guys for
man.
having me.
It's
Thank
good.
you.
It's good seeing you. I mean, obviously one of the things we've lost the last year or so is kind of all getting together in person at games, practice, and so forth. So it's really good to bit by bit start seeing everybody.
Yeah, that's
again.
what I
It's
told
nice.
Zach when he walked
Yeah.
up. I saw Ryan a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago when I was here for a game,
Yeah.
and Zach walked up. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like it's great seeing you guys in the flesh. I agree.
So
This is my favorite part about this new in studio thing is we get to actually like hang out with
Yeah.
our media
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
So this has been awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, before we get out of here, one last shout out to Green Mountain Dental Group. You heard about it earlier. Mace gave you that important lesson on how you should brush your teeth. One quarter, what is it? 30 seconds per quarter
30
of your
seconds
mouth.
per quarter of your mouth. Yeah.
Really great
But
stuff.
Sonicare will tell you how to do it. Makes it easy.
They do make it easy. And if you go down to Green Mountain Dental and schedule that cleaning, x-ray, and exam, they'll hook you up. And Michael Spencer has been down here at the DNVR Bar. So has the whole Green Mountain Dental family. They love hanging out here, too. They came here decked out in Avs gear. And, like, I don't know about you guys. Those are the people that I want to go support as the true
Absolutely.
Denver diehard. So check out Green Mountain Dental Group. When you need any dentist work done, they're the best damn family-owned dentist group in the metro area. But for us, that wraps it up. Make sure you hit us with a like on YouTube before you get out of here, and maybe a subscribe while you're at it. You can even sign up for alerts. But for today, that wraps it up. We will catch you guys next week on the DNVR Broncos podcast.